Dear students, let us start the discussion on today's newspaper, that is 29th May 2017. The first article, Misreading the Tea Leaves. Here we need to understand what is the post-Second World War global order. Are there any changes to it today? And is this change a real or just a perception? These are the questions we need to understand. You know that after the Second World War, new global institutions have come to central stage. These are United Nations, World Bank, IMF, present-day WTO. All these are reflections of this new order. In this Cold War era, there were two poles in the world. One is led by USA and the other is led by USSR. Today, the China is re-emerging. In this context, let me put it this way. 1989 is an year of divide in global politics in this particular existing world order. It is the year of collapse of Soviet Russia. And it is the time when China is getting modernized under Deng Xiaoping. Today, if we see the Trump in United States of America and Belt and Road Initiative and extravaganza in China, the trade surplus and economic might that China is possessing, is that leading to a perception that the global order is changing. And China is also supporting new financial architecture to the globe in the form of AIIB and also New Development Bank. So let us see that in a perspective. See, United States of America is still a major power. It is the largest economy, or dominant economy, I'll put it that way. And second, by military-industrial complex, it has the largest military-industrial complex in the world. And technology, it is far superior. Human resources, universities, China is uncomparable. And it may take many years for China to catch up to United States of America. The biggest of all these things is the USA is providing for many of the global public goods. Mr. Trump may not agree to the same, and he might say that it is costing US a lot, but it also a reason for the USA might. And second thing is, Belt and Road Initiative, if you see, most of the BRI projects, these are financed by the China's state banks. These are not financed by the private investors. Why? Because the China, or else any private investor wants to gain profits on his investments. And BRI projects have long gestation period. And there is a lot of resentment among the locals on these projects. And even in the political establishment, there is a growing resentment that these projects will push the country into a debt trap. If you take Hambantota in Sri Lanka, or a port project in Laos, the GDP, debt to GDP ratio of these countries have increased manyfold because of these projects. So this is what is the concern India has expressed why it is not intent to join Belt and Road Initiative. So one of the major reasons which it has stated is it may push the countries into a debt trap, and there are more and more concerns related to territorial integrity and sovereignty. And above all, India wants a connectivity to be developed on equality, transparency, and respect for global rules. So these concerns are very much valid in the case of Belt and Road Initiative. If you carefully observe, why did China start the BRI? The reason is this. China has production surplus. Huge mega projects are mega industries. And as global slowdown has occurred, where this output has to be used for. If not, it will lead to unemployment. So Belt and Road Initiative is an expression to the surplus of production capacity China possesses now. And finally, how India and China relations have to be. So author says that the 1962 mindset, it shall be done away with by India. India has to constructively engage with China on the matters where win-win situation exists. So that's the golden point which we can take for our exam. The next is perception and reality. It is about 3 years of Prime Minister Modi's rule. The people of India are divided like never before on this critical analysis. One of the reasons is there is too much of centralization in politics and individual style decision making, which was displayed by Indira Gandhi. And the second is a monologue is increasing. If you recollect, Prime Minister Modi did not conduct even one press conference till date. So his style of connecting with the people is direct, where he delivers his opinions to the people rather than taking the questions from them. So there is no counter questioning. So there is no critical analysis of what is happening around. And the basic rules of media are verification, fact checking, attribution, and gatekeeping. If the media has to perform these functions, the Prime Minister of India has to keep himself for the scrutiny of media, which is not happening. A direct address to the people and reinforcing that with social media. This is what has been the media management strategy of BJP and Prime Minister Modi. So this is what is being questioned in this particular article. The Temor in Trouble. This article is related to Brazil. Whenever we study Brazil, we study about a welfare program which is a precursor to today's cash transfer scheme, that is Bolsa Familia. So the Lula da Silva government, the Workers' Party's government, it has brought the Bolsa Familia. It is considered as an example across the world. After Lula, Mr. Dilma Rousseff became the president of Brazil, and she has to resign because of corruption charges. And the second is the present president, Mr. Temer, who is center-right. He is also facing many of the corruption charges against him. And Speaker of the House is too facing the corruption charges in car wash scam. It is the biggest scam of Petrobras, so the oil company of Brazil. If you take carefully over here, the Brazil is one of the emerging economy which is almost into economic downturn now. And the Brazil's these documents, the Brazil's investor rating, it was downgraded. What is the reason behind that? So let me put it this way. In case of Brazil, when commodities prices are high, the economy was on an upswing mode. As commodity prices have come down, so it is facing a huge economic downturn. And added to that, the existing corruption charges on the leadership, it is decreasing the confidence of the people on governing institutions in Brazil. So my carry home point will be this for your governance. Corruption kills the legitimacy of the institutions. Corruption throws the doubts of the people on credibility of these institutions. That is the point which we need to take home. So you can quote the Brazil as an example over there. The next is, we have all animals are equal. So it is about the recent amendments to the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960. What are the important provisions of this act? Sorry, it is not amendments to the act. It is new rules are being added to the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act. So what is that? It is prohibition of sale of animals for slaughter. And animal sale shall be only for agricultural purposes. The new rules talk about the verification of the buyer and agricultural credentials of the buyer, and a self-declaration by the buyer that he will not be selling the animal for slaughterhouses. And finally, even if the animal dies, it cannot be sold for various other purposes such as leather industry, etc. There are two concerns over here. One is from politics side or from legal side. Let me put it this way. The Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960 passed by the Parliament. Whatever the rules which are being made, these rules are supposed to be Whatever the rules which we are making, these rules are supposed to be under Prevention of Cruelty to Animals 1960. So the PCA Act only prohibits inflicting pain or unnecessary suffering to the animals. It do not prohibit use of animals or cattle for consumption, because this is what is the poor man's meat. And second thing is, there is a huge impact on the tanneries, the leather industry, because of this particular rule or provision. So this is violative of 1960 Act itself. The Animal Welfare Board of India, which has been created, it is to make or advise the government on not causing pain while or suffering to the animals while they are being culled. And the second thing is, if it is in the interest of the animal husbandry or agriculture, these rules shall be framed by the Ministry of Agriculture Animal Husbandry Division rather than the Ministry of Environment. So, here the intentions of the government are entirely different. It has more a political agenda rather than providing for some safe environment to the animals. Now let's come to connecting the dots after 3 years in the saddle. It is about evaluating the Prime Minister Modi's rule after 3 years on various factors in comparison to his poll promises. Now if you see, the first poll promise is to raise the farmers' income. So farmers' welfare. He has quoted as saying, the farmer suicides shall be brought down. And then farmers' income have to be doubled by using technology, improving productivity, giving minimum support price to them. He has promised production cost plus 50% as the minimum support price to the farmers. So in this context, the suicides did not decrease, but they in fact have increased. The minimum support price nowhere close to 50%. It is around 6% over and above the production cost. And second, the major promise is on bringing back the black money stashed in tax havens. Now in this case, the UPS stand was, as there was double taxation avoidance agreement, the people holding the accounts in foreign banks cannot be disclosed. But in reality, now even NDA government has stuck to the same stand, and it says that it will disclose the accounts of the people which have come after 2017, because there is an agreement on automatic exchange of financial information now, so which makes it possible. And third is on job creation. So the job creation is nowhere close to 1 crore of the jobs as promised. If 1 crore of the jobs are divided over 5 years, at least 20 lakhs of the jobs have to be created. Nothing of that is happening in the case of our country. And we go towards women's safety. And you know, National Crime Records Bureau shows that attacks against women have increased. Now these are by new group of people who are Hindu or else the people who wants to maintain a conservative hold on the country. And inflation, food inflation is still high. Corruption is not going down. These are the things which the article talks about. Coming to the first page, front page. Need innovations to fight dirty war, Mr. Rawat, General Rawat. So he says there is a proxy war which is going on in Kashmir, and it needs innovative ways, and he supports the human shield incident happened in Kashmir. Let's go to the news page, business page. Center spending improves after budget date advanced. You know that the budget date advanced to February 1st. Because of this advancement, it has led to ready release of funds to the government agencies. Previously, actual expenditure has started only after monsoon. So that's why there was a rush in the last months towards spending the money, which is often described as March rush. Now, the money is available to the executive agencies from start of the financial year, that is from April 1st itself. Because of this, the expenditure is equally distributed throughout the year. This is what this article talks about. And then, prospects for 2018 brighter than ever. It talks about real estate regulation bill, and this particular act is going to change the landscape of real estate and housing sector. The prices are going to become stable and consumer interests are expected to be better protected. So these are the articles for today. Thank you very much and all the best. I'm sorry for discontinuing videos for few days. My aunt passed away, and as my father was in US, I was supposed to take care of the things. Thank you very much. All the best.